Hi everyone. So today we are going to go over what is expected for this new exciting assignment. I'm so pumped. We've been doing a lot of practice and I know that you are going to do an amazing job. And so I just want to go over the requirements today. We're going to start practicing today for the real deal, and we're going to break this up day by day, so don't feel flooded. At the end, it's worth 100 points, but we're going to do it step by step along the way. So I put here for fourth period, this is a live recording, and I've been trying to do my recordings fourth period and playing them for fifth and sixth. Never jump ahead, and keep in mind that the agenda is a live document. If I feel like you guys are doing just fine on your own, I don't usually do a live Zoom. And then if students want to meet with me individually on Zoom or through email, whatever you prefer, that's how I'm trying to do things right now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the camera because it's distracting to me seeing myself talking back at me. And as you see, I made it really clear, do not, jump ahead. So this is going to be our second big assignment. It says 3D name outline. I want to emphasize the outline part here, because some of you think it's a good idea to start shading, and I don't want you to shade. I even made it really clear here. No shading. This is going to be a sketchbook / folder cover. And so I'll talk about the options later on this assignment, and I'm going to do a presentation overview right now, and I'll post that overview after this video when I have a chance. So on the next tab, let me go ahead and scroll to the beginning. It should be pretty quick. You guys should understand what the heck 3D letters are, how to draw 3D letters, assignment number 2. You have been experimenting and practicing, so now this is all more relevant to you. It's very exciting. And so I'm just going to show you a variety of different fonts, different directions of font, and the vanishing point and the horizon line. And we'll start talking about shading after we do the task at hand, just outlining. The outline of your design is going to be due next week on Wednesday. So I'm giving you plenty of time to just do the rough draft of it, and we're going to do practice today. I just wanted to point out, if you wanted your letters to go different directions, you can. And so this T, it would have a vanishing point that's probably around here going down. You can all kind of see that idea. With the R, the vanishing point would be coming from the bottom. Sorry, that thing keeps popping up. And then with the A, the vanishing point would be probably around here. So that's why it looks different directions. It actually has different vanishing points to make it look those different directions. That's for a student that's extremely advanced who wants to experiment. Now, this Superman, the vanishing point is probably all the way past the screen up here. And you can see all these lines are all going to that one point. And so this is going to be above or below the vanishing point. Who knows the answer? Is Superman above or below the vanishing point? Can somebody volunteer and say something?
Below.
Very good. Yes, it is below. And that's how we're able to see the top part, because it's below the vanishing point. What's great is you all actually understand what I'm talking about because we've been practicing this. Now with the A, is this above or below the vanishing point? Same person. Give looking time.
Above.
Very good. And you can see that the line goes off the screen down here somewhere. So the vanishing point is down here. It's probably to the side and above. Excellent. Good job. So why? Well, we always want to talk about the purpose of why we do the things we do. In art, there is art vocabulary and there's art standards that is expected of teachers. And so I am trying to hit the national and state standards. So this is A1, use appropriate art vocabulary. The what, that's going to be B5, review and refine observational skills. And how, and the how is 1 point perspective and regular perspective. So the vocabulary words that we've been going over, I don't know if you've realized this, is line, shape, form, perspective, 1 point perspective, horizon line, vanishing point, guidelines, converging lines, foreground, background, middle ground, and depth. I think that's a hefty amount of really challenging vocabulary words. And what's great is I believe you actually understand and know what these are. So I'm doing a good job, and so are you, because I've been looking at your work, and for the majority, we are all on board and doing excellent work. These are other vocabulary words that are the ingredients, the recipes for art, elements of art. These are the basic elements that are used by artists in creating art. They are why you use to create an sorry, I said it wrong, anesthetic, as if you're going to sleep, wrong word, aesthetically pleasing work. Aesthetics means like your tastes. When we make art, we need to understand and apply these 7 elements of art. So we've been watching videos. I'm not going to go over the details and the definitions of all of these. I just want you to understand that they all go hand in hand, and they will go hand in hand in this assignment, which will be really exciting. So shape, an enclosed space defined by other art elements such as line, color, and texture. These are all varieties of shapes, and this will be something we will be adding to our names later, and we'll talk more in depth about that. So keep that in the back of your mind. Form is dimensional. The shapes you saw on the prior slide are very flat. Form is 3-dimensional. And so we are creating the appearance of 3D on a flat surface. The element of art that refers to 3-dimensional quality of art has height, width, and depth, and closes volume. Okay, so that's a 3D shape, and these are 3D words, form. So I hope you understand that. So perspective, an illusion of 3 dimensions, depth and space on 2-dimensional flat surface. Perspective is what makes a painting seem to have form, distance, and look real. I'm going over all of this extremely fast, and at this point, this should be very familiar to you. We've been watching presentations about 1-point perspective, but I really love this drawing and how it illustrates the person and them standing, and where their point of view would be reflected on a photograph or a piece of paper of where the horizon line is and how objects will appear. So I just thought this was an excellent illustration of all of these concepts we've been talking about lately. 1-point perspective is a drawing method that shows how things appear to get smaller as they get further away, converging towards a single vanishing point on the horizon line. We've been introduced briefly in some of the videos about 1-point and 2-point, 3-point, there's even 4-point perspective. In this beginning class, we will only be discussing and working on 1-point perspective. So the point would be here. And we talked about foreground, middle ground, and background. Is this tiny tree here what is this? Is this the background, middle ground, or the foreground? Can somebody volunteer and say something?
The background.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. What about this tree, these trees right here? Same person.
Middle.
Middle. And then this gigantic tree right here. What is this? Starts with an F. Foreground. Foreground. I know that one's the one I tend to forget. I think of front, foreground. So as you can see on this side, this is the middle ground and this is the foreground tree. So things that are further away appear small and things that are closer get larger and larger. So that's a really important concept. Here we have the vanishing point, the horizon line, and the perspective lines. Who is that? Miguel Garcia, if you can let him in for me, McKenna. I don't see him marked up. He said he must have got marked off. All right, so the perspective lines, you can see all these lines that are highlighted in blue and how they all converge to that one vanishing point along with the horizon line. Here are more examples of vanishing point and horizon line. I know this is probably a lot for your little eyes to wrap their mind around. I love the boxes and keeping it really simple with that. But as you can see, everything converges to that one vanishing point, and we've been practicing this. I like practicing this before we discuss this presentation because I just think it's more relative. You can connect with it more because you've experienced drawing it and now you get it. And then we always talk about the horizon line and the vanishing point. This video, I'm not sure how long it is. I'm going to play it real quick, but I don't want to go too long with it. I want to talk about the assignment. I pressed play. What happened? Oh, it's 3 minutes. We're good.
In this tutorial, we will be explaining the horizon line and its use in art. First, I'll show you how to identify the horizon line. To determine the horizon line, hold your brush at arm's length, close one eye, hold your brush level, don't go higher and don't go lower. Hold it at eye level and look through the brush and you'll see the horizon line, the true horizon line. Sometimes the visible horizon line will hide the true horizon line, but the true horizon line will be right through your brush. So here's the concept from a distance. I'm looking through my brush into the distance, and there's the vanishing point. And these green lines would represent something like trees or people as the distance increases from the viewer to the vanishing point. Now, here's what I mean by the visible horizon line. These points right here are the visible horizon line, where the sky meets the ground. But the true horizon line, when I'm standing out in this field looking at eye level, the true horizon line is going to be through these mountains. So if I'm painting a building, I want the perspective to be pointing at the true horizon line, not the visible horizon line. So I hold my brush out at eye level, and right there is the true horizon line. Of course, the true horizon line is much easier to see when you're looking at the ocean because it's completely and totally level. So as you can see here, the true horizon line is the water line. So why is the horizon line important in art? If you want to draw or paint a convincing image, the perspective must be correct. So when you're establishing the perspective, the vanishing point must end on the horizon line. The horizon line never changes. It's always the same. The vanishing point must be on the horizon line. For the perspective to be correct, you must establish a horizon line so you can draw your vanishing points to that line. Let's find the horizon line, and here it is at eye level. Let's draw some squares. This would be maybe some cabinets inside of a room or some buildings on a street. You're looking down a street. Here's the vanishing points. I should point out that normally all of these vanishing points would be the same. In other words, all these lines would go to that center vanishing point. But I just wanted to illustrate it this way to show you that vanishing points can be in different locations on the horizon line. These are all one-point perspectives. Everything above this line is above the horizon line. Looking at anything below it would be below the horizon line. So now we finish our boxes and we see that when an object is below the horizon line, we can see the top of it. When an object is above the horizon line, we can see the bottom of it. When it's even with the horizon line, we can't see the bottom or the top. So the point is, the horizon line is important because all of the vanishing points must end at the horizon line. For your perspective to be correct in a painting or drawing, your objects must obey the rules of perspective, which means they diminish in size as they converge toward the vanishing point. I hope this helps you understand the horizon line and why it's important in art. Thanks for watching.
Okay. So I'm going to try to get out of that. Stop. So I am just leaving this in the presentation and going through it fairly quickly. We started off with a stick figure, letter A, for example, and then we tried to evenly outline it to get some thickness. The better you get at this, you don't need to draw that inner A, but for some of us, we assume we're all beginners. It's very helpful. What I noticed with a few students in each class is you are forgetting to do the centers of your letters. For example, A, O, B, D, P, Q, and R. It's really important to do the centers so that it looks like a full figured letter, I guess you could say. Uh-oh, why am I not changing slides? Okay, so then after that, we always have a vanishing point, and then whatever edge can make its way to the vanishing point is what you draw. The vanishing point should be pretty low, actually. I could tell that that's not the right spot. But anyways, you get the idea. And then we measured and finished off the edges. A lot of you are having a problem with the inner legs of your letters like A and R. And so I made comments to each student that I noticed was struggling with that. You always work within the guidelines, a few of you, not in this class particularly, but maybe you were rushing and you were not using the guidelines. And so I won't give you points if you're not following along step by step. When I teach instructions, I send it back to you. So it's really important that you're following the directions. Here's another example with H and T and what that kind of looks like. Now, the step 6, which is the last step, is shading. I don't really want to talk to you guys about shading yet because there's a whole philosophy about shading. And I care more that we're drawing our letters, our outlines correctly. And then once you're approved, we will move on and talk about how to shade our letters and our forms. So that all has lights, mediums, and darks, and there's one directional light source. I'm very specific about how I want those to look. So we never want to jump ahead and assume. When you jump ahead, it's great that you're eager, but you might be doing it wrong and you don't want to have to start over again. I break things down for beginners in step-by-step instruction. So here are a few more examples of 1-point perspective. So these were letters and numbers above and below the vanishing point, and this is what they look like after they're finished off and given the tail ends, which is what we've been practicing the day before. And so that's a brief little overview of that. This one is above the vanishing point, and you can see that they gave it a hefty length and before they finished it off. We practiced doing it about 1/2 inch, I estimate, and you have to be consistent. Whatever you do to one letter, you need to do to the other letters to finish off the distance. So that's really important. I just wanted to explain that. A few of you did it various levels, and that's not correct. Here we have boxes above, below, on the vanishing point, to the left and right, and different shapes. I want you to see different examples of the possibilities. I used to do this one with the class, but I felt it was sufficient for us to just do the letters, and then I asked you to add a few shapes. Because we're not live in the classroom, it's just a different situation. Here's some more three-dimensional ideas and concepts for your sketchbook and covers. I believe I introduced you to what I did on my cereal box. And granted, this is all digital, but there's nothing wrong with color if you want to add color and get, some interesting highlights and make it look reflective. So I'm just giving you ideas. Here's some more. And some more. These are all going to different vanishing points and all twisty. This is for that really advanced person. Here's some more. So you can really base this on your interests and topics like that. Here's another introduction. I want to see how long it is. I don't want to bore you guys to tears. Let's see. Oh, it's 10 minutes. Nah, I'm not interested in playing that for you. I played you other videos. I'm going to move on. So if we were in the classroom, and this is what I used to do, I would show the steps on how to do this. And so I just took a picture of the whiteboard in class, and we would do this on a scratch piece of paper. But I'm very proud of what we created online at home. So I just want you to get an idea that you're not missing out. We practiced curve guidelines here, happy face, sad face, and step by step. If you're struggling and you're not happy with how your shapes are looking, come back to this presentation and follow the steps. Here's that video we all watched and worked on together. So what we're talking about today, I don't like how this looks for some reason. It's still full screen. Come on, baby. Let's see if I can get out of this. Exit. So, it went off the page. That's not good. All right. What I would like to explain to you is we are only going to do this one right now. So that's really important. So I'm going to highlight it because Ms. Brown is tacky and I don't want anyone to say, oh, I didn't understand. You understood because I highlighted it. Sure, you understood. I'm super picky of what I want, and I want it very clear. So what I want is for you to do a 3D name or nickname and at least 5 forms. So that is, let me put this in present mode so you guys can clearly see that. And so we're not worrying about all this stuff here. This will be later on next week for you to work on. So we are working on the nickname in 5 forms. And I emphasize large, medium, and small forms, okay? So what I'm going to do now is turn on my camera, and you're going to need a piece of paper and a writing tool. So go while I'm getting my camera up and running, why don't you get a piece of paper and a writing tool? Okay, let me get this going here. Please work, please work. So I showed you all a little bit of practice of me doodling some ideas on my cereal box. You want a big cereal box if you want to do a hard cover. I told you all to start collecting materials if that was possible for you. And so I'm just reminding you. I started playing with different, this is a straight guideline, this is a sad face guideline, another sad face guideline. On the back side, I'm practicing a wavy line. I haven't done the 1-point perspective on that. But I'm playing around. Do I want to do a happy face, a sad face? You could do all sorts of things, and I want you to be excited about this. I'm going to grab a scratch piece of paper now. And what I used to do in the classroom and what we can do live here are 2 different things. Oh, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. Oh, that's in. Come on. That's as far as it's saying it'll go. Yeah. Okay. So you can see my whole paper here. What I would do is a horizontal line like this, and then a vertical line like this across the whole thing. I used to have you guys fold this. And then you're going to draw a number 1, a number 2. I'll wait for you all to do that. Please give me a yes when you are finished. because I don't want to start the next step if everybody's behind. I feel like sometimes I go too fast and sometimes I go too slow, so I need that feedback to know if we're ready for the next step. Only 7 students out of 36 have responded. Now it's 15, half of the class is ready. Now it's 20, 25, okay. I'm very happy getting this feedback. 28 of you out of 30. We're waiting for 5 more students. Three more students we're waiting on. I don't like calling out names of people that are not working, so I'm just going to write their names down and mark them absent. We're at that point now. So then you're really not here following along if you're not responding to the poll questions. Poll question, period 4. Elizabetha. I'm tired of like mentioning this all the time. It's getting old. Let's see who else is not participating in the poll. Oh, all of a sudden, everyone except for one student. That seemed to work out nicely. Okay, moving on to the next part. You are going to rotate your paper horizontal. And here we're going to write number 3 and number 4. Okay? So this is going to be horizontal, HORIZONTAL sketches. Please write that. So you're going to have 2 horizontals. So I'm going to put HS here, horizontal sketch. New vocabulary word, horizontal, hamburger. And then we're going to go back to 1 and 2. And you're going to put 2 vertical, vertical sketches. These are your little rough drafts, 1, 2. I should have put a 2 with the horizontal as well. You get it. No big deal. So these are your practice ideas for your sketchbook cover or your cardboard cover. Okay, you have 2 different options. I made a practice one for my sketchbook cover as well. It's almost a rectangle square. And so I just doodled, but I want you to practice. My next idea, if I was to make another one, I'm going to do a circle, but you might want to do a sad face or a happy face guideline. This one I'm going to play around and do a wavy line. My horizontal one, what kind of guideline could I do? I could do a circle. Ooh, I wonder what that's going to look like. That's interesting. And then maybe I'll do, because I'm advanced. You guys are not necessarily advanced. If you want to do a straight line or a basic curve line, you go ahead with that. I'm going to do a zigzag line just because I'm curious. I showed you some variety from before. So this is up to you. There's no right or wrong line. And then I'm going to start my stick figure. Actually, I'm going to skip the stick figure because I think I'm that good. Miss Brown thinks she's good at this. We'll see. I'm going to do all caps this time. Some people might want to do lowercase. I'm good enough that I don't need that stick figure. Mrs. Brown. So this is up to you and how you want to do your word style. It could be cursive if you want. It's up to your talents and your practice. We practice first before we commit to one thing by doing little thumbnail sketches. so that we don't waste our time with things that we don't like. At least we practiced it and we got an idea of what we do and what we don't like. So I made a mistake here. I made this pointy. I would probably change that to a little bit of a straight, and I can practice that here. I can play here. So the first thing I want you to do is practice your name or your nickname. This time I'm going to get cursive because I feel like it. And I'm just going to do brown. And you can draw off the guideline if you want. There's no rule on that. You can just watch me for now if you want. I'm going to give you class time. Brown. I'm going to make this browns. I want to make another word on there because I want to make this whole curve. Do another curve here. Yours does not have to be this complicated. I'm a person that's gone to art school, so I'm making mine more complicated. It's all based on your abilities and what you feel comfortable with. Don't get crazy like me. You can do it however you want. So it says Mrs. Brown's. What am I going to write here? I'm going to get crazy. I'm going to do classroom. So if you understand what's going on, you can go ahead and get started. And I don't expect you to finish this today. This will be due as a photograph tomorrow. Okay, so I'm giving you today and tomorrow to work on this. Does anybody have any questions or concerns that are relevant to the whole class? Right now is a good time to ask me. Okay, that's another practice. Now I'm going to do a circle. What? I'm curious how this is going to turn out. I've never done a circle before. I hope you guys enjoy this because there's no right or wrong. And if you make mistakes, that's okay. I just care about you practicing. The whole point of this class is trying new things that make you uncomfortable and effort. I care about your effort and communication. I do not read minds, and I just want you to be open and honest. And if you need help, I'm here to help. But I don't read your mind, so I have no idea if you're struggling or not. Some of you, and I'm talking to all three classes, I believe don't think I grade the work. Every time you photograph your work, I look at it and I give you feedback if you're struggling. If you are not struggling, I just give you the points because it takes too long for me to write out everything for everyone. So if you're getting the full points and you haven't received a comment from me, you are doing fabulous and you have no problems. But a few students, I point out, oh, you forgot to do the inner leg of the R or the A, or one student worked outside of the guidelines, which had nothing to do with my videos. So I gave them some grief about that and I gave them a 0. Because if you're not doing the objectives, then why should you earn points just because you turn in a picture of the work done from another day? That doesn't count. You have to do the work for that day. So that's my circle. That's kind of interesting. Now I'm going to do a zigzag. Ooh. What can I do for this one? And you can change your font. You are more than welcome to do 4 more on the back side if you want. But for tomorrow, you're only required to have 4. You can do 8 for all I care. And then show me all of them. And you can do 2 pictures if you want. I'm not making you do that. That's up to you. But For me, I want the 4. If you enjoy this, which I believe a lot of you do, play. Play hard. Be brave. Experiment. Have fun with it. This is supposed to be a relaxing part of your day. I know these are hard and weird concepts that you may have never heard of before, but I care that you're trying. All right? Miss Brown. What can I write there? Miss Brown loves you. I'm getting all abbreviated here. Miss Brown loves you. You are loved, okay? I want you to have fun with this. If you would like me to demonstrate something or help you in any way, shape, or form, I'm here for you all. Just show me that you're trying. Anybody have a question? Would like me to demonstrate something? All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to play it back or, oh my goodness, or watch the presentation, I'm posting it on the agenda right now.